I was afraid of what might happen to my family, but I felt as though it was time to tell. I was tired of hiding the sexual abuse. All my anger had turned to hate.
I was devastated. Here was the man I loved, the man I changed my life for. I felt betrayed by him when I found out about the sexual assault. I'm glad she reported. Now she won't have to suffer anymore.
I couldn't believe it. Why hadn't I known? When I found out that my dad had raped my sister, I felt sick to my stomach. I don't want my family to fall apart, and I don't know who to be mad at.
I knew that no one would believe me. Our family seemed so normal to everyone else. I kept it in for a long time.
I felt like the lowest thing on earth. I kept thinking about ways of killing myself, but I just couldn't do it. Not knowing how to stop the sexual abuse was a nightmare for me. I love my daughter for being stronger than me and reporting the molestation.
Going home? Me? When am I going home? Are you kidding? Never if I have anything to say about it. Hey, look, as far as I'm concerned, they had their chance and they blew it. It'd be kind of stupid for me to go home now anyway, even if they did want me to. I haven't been home for 2 years. I first got into the system for stealing, then I got busted for damaging public property. Hey, I thought I was being an artist, but the cops didn't seem to think so. They put me in juvie hall, then they started checking out my family. They put me in counseling, and one day it slipped, and I told them what my stepdad had done. The sexual assault. Boy, did that cause a big stink in the family. My mom, she says she still doesn't believe me. In a couple of months, I'll be going to Job Corps training. Get myself a skill so I can support myself once I turn 18 and I get out of the system. I miss having a family, but it's not so bad here in the group home. A lot of the other guys, they've gone through the same kind of stuff that I have. I can talk to them. Man, some of these guys were molested by their own fathers, their own mothers. Now that kind of stuff sticks with you for the rest of your life. And I'll tell you something. Sometimes I feel like calling my mom and my stepdad up and asking them how they're paying for all of this, for what they've done to me. Because I'll tell you something, I know how I'm having to pay for it.
The recovery process for perpetrators requires a lifelong commitment, with professionals advocating 12-step programs similar to those found in organizations like Alcoholics Anonymous. For both victims and non-offending spouses, therapy is essential in order to gain self-respect. Incest often happens as part of a chain. Men who molest were often sexually abused themselves as children. They become perpetrators in order to regain a sense of power. Women who were victimized and have not sought treatment can and occasionally do molest. However, it is more likely that they will marry men who will abuse their children. We must break this chain through intervention. Incest survivors must seek out and identify their molesters. Perpetrators must be in treatment programs, for it is common knowledge that someone who was sexually abusing 20 years ago is still molesting today. Rationalizations for sexual abuse must be thoroughly challenged. Allowing the victim to be blamed only serves to retard their growth, damage their self-esteem, and lay the groundwork for future molestations. Victims do turn into perpetrators. Non-offending adults and spouses must examine why they allowed the molest to occur. Secrets and the failure to communicate can never again be tolerated in the home. Government agencies must make a commitment to fund incest intervention and treatment programs. In the long term, we must develop a socialization process which empowers women, allows men to express their feelings and pain in an open and positive way, and the kind of society which believes and supports its children. We must discard the notion that any member of society has the right to the body of another. Sex must not be seen as a means to take control or have power over another human being. Incest survivors, perpetrators, non-offending adults, all of us must become advocates of non-abusive relationships. And finally, we must remember that only with treatment is there hope.